For our favorite page, we will just start working on this our additional favorite page which we already created. And for now here, what you need to do just to go with some of the simple collaboration here. First of all, we need to capture the favorite products which we are having from the store. So first of all, let's just grab it here, which need to be coming from use a favorite store. Done. And from there we need to have two portions. First is that we should be having all of the favorite items, then we're gonna have also the receipt favorite item, and of course we need to grab our router. So const router, use router, as we'll use the router later on. I'm gonna just keep it that. So now if we console log, we should be able to see, as you see, we have 6 favorite. If you just take your console a bit, and if you just log through that one, favorite items, you see this all are there. And if I just go with the length, you can see the length right here. So it's 6 length, so total 6 items is right there. So now we're having the favorite item. So right now we are going to make a certain kind of design by which it can be looks better. So first of all, we will just go and fix our wrapper here. So if we keep the wrapper, we should having everything right here by so far. And also we're gonna just initialize our home header. Okay, if we use the home header, no need to use the wrapper. So I think view will work fine. So I'm gonna just call here home header because I don't want to take so much exponential here. Now you can remove that one. If you are in favorite screen, you can remove that favorite icon. You can create the scenario, but I'm gonna go with a normal sense of data layer. Apart from it, I'm gonna go and grab all of the design which we're gonna use to make our favorite screen looks better. So all the style it gonna be there to make it work perfectly. So now this is our style is coming back. So what we're gonna do, as you see, we have a home header. After the home header, we're gonna just go and initialize our favorite header. So first of all, I'm gonna go and make that if we have the favorite items dot length is bigger than 0, so means we are having the favorite item, then we want to return something. And you can go with a single condition, but I'll make it separate so you will have a better understanding on that. So I'm gonna having another view, and within that view we're gonna having a text and that text going to contain our favorite, let's say, products list. So now okay, I think I'm missing something maybe. Okay, what is saying here, view, that's the view 1 2 maybe. Okay, favorite items dot length is bigger than 0 and okay, anyway, I'm gonna go and wrap it within a first bracket. Is it? No, I think I maybe have made some mistakes. So if we have that okay, I found that we need to provide the dot, otherwise it cannot considerably get the length. So that was just a silly mistake, but mistake is always a mistake. So now we're going to provide this style, and the style should be for this one styles dot header. So this will be containing the header portion, and for I think the it one overall call, I'm gonna call it header view, and this one gonna be having that list style, and the style should be styles dot header. So that will contain the header. As you see, the background color is changed. And also for the text, I'm gonna provide this style which going to be styles dot and then gonna be title. So now the title list looks better. After that, I'm gonna having another text, and no worries, you're gonna see this style a bit. And here I'm gonna just pass that favorite items dot length, and here I'm gonna just write past that is a favorite items parameter. And for this text also put a style, not the class name. I'm always used to it with the class name for the development server. So style dot should be that one item count. Okay, so this is the almost comfortable things here. Now as you see header, we can initially wrap that everything with the wrapper. At least we're gonna having that our padding portion and others. So if we make that wrapper, in the top layer, we need to make that as a flex 1. It should be flex 1, and the wrapper will follow. Now what we have in the wrapper, as you see in the wrapper, we have Sapphire Review and others. So also in home header is there, but it will not make any problem. But if you are feeling bad not to do it, then you can create your own separate header. Now you know how you can do that. For our header view, we are making a padding bottom of 5, background color which is making the primary color, border bottom width which is 1, border bottom color is gray 200, flex direction raw, justify content space between, and align item center. I think start I keep it here, so keep always portion in the right. Now header, we're not putting anything. So as you see, title, we're having the bold title, font size 20 and color. Then item count, similar pattern, just color and text properties. Now this is a simple progressive one. Now after that, as you see, this is the header view which we are talking about, because we make it space between, because there should be one button here. We're gonna create it right now. So after this header, we're gonna having another view. So in that view, we're gonna having a touchable opacity here, and that opacity will contain a text which gonna say, let's say, receipt favorite. So that will call for that one. So now we are having our receipt favorite button. So now in this actual button, we can just go and create our functionality to go and make that one. So I'm going to put a style here, and that style should be containing that as called that receipt text, which is kind of red. And as you see, it's just I'm making an up color. For header, as you see, I'm not entitled to put anything. So I think we can remove that style. I'm not putting anything here, just putting the view to go and keep it side by side. Now we can create our receipt functionality. So here it's gonna be, let's say, whenever we're gonna create an on press, I want to create a functionality. So that would call it, gonna call directly receipt favorite. So no, nothing, you can put alert if you wanted to, but what I did, I just called the function to just, whenever I'm gonna click it, it's gonna receipt automatically. You're gonna receipt it, but not right now. So as much as you see, we have our favorite items, right? So now we can also render a like an optional chain here to go and create that. So we can do it right here, or we can just go and make that entire fragment. We can wrap it within the wrapper, so that now we can also over here, no need to put any alignment. We can directly go and pass that our flat list. So should be a flat list. And over that flat list, we're going to provide our data, and the data should be our favorite items. And after that, we're going to also make that key extractor to provide an unique key here. And over here, we're going to take the item and item.id. I'm going to make that as a two-string property. So we're going to having our key props, and that looks better. Now we need to go and provide some more other property here, and number of columns we're gonna provide 2. And as you knew, when I'm gonna save, it's gonna make that error. And you know why you're gonna do that, because we cannot make that on the fly. We need to reload. So if you want to reload here, I think it's not, let's say, okay, I'm gonna just reload it here from the terminal here. So let's reload, and it will just disappear. Okay, so after that, as it disappear, so now as we using the parses, you see the data is already there. It will not go till we delete. Now here we're gonna provide that render item parameter, by which we're gonna render. So we're gonna take everything as a parse sequence of the item, and from there we're gonna return, and within the return we're gonna use a view property. And first, right now I'm gonna provide just a text. Let's say I want to just provide product. So you can see we have there's a 6 products right here, as you can 6, but side by, as you see, 2 columns gonna hold together. And also I'm gonna provide a style property here, should be styles dot, it gonna be provide that product container. As you see in the product container, we're providing the width of 48% just to grab each and everything. And after that, we're gonna have a container style, which are going to have the property of, let's say, styles dot, and we're gonna provide, it will be, that's a products grid. And in the products grid, what we're gonna providing that just a padding top of 10. That's it, nothing fancy, nothing more circulated and other, just make it quite easy. Now after that, also we will make that column wrapper style, which going to be, let's say, there we need to provide a styles dot, we're gonna make that column wrapper. And if you just see in the column wrapper, we're just making justify content space between, so it's gonna push that everything side by side together in a very good fashion. And after that, show vertical scroll bar, or vertical scroll indicator. We don't want to see that, so I'm gonna make it false. Like whenever you're gonna scroll at the top, you're gonna see one vertical. If you just remove that, you can see it will not come here, but once the product is more, that time you're gonna see there. And for the list footer component, we're gonna just provide a simple view, and that view gonna compile with that. Let's say style. Let's say it should be style, and style should be styles dot footer, and the footer style is simple, just providing a height of 100. I think 100 pixel, yeah, 100 pixel. So now we need to render our product, and how we can do that? Remember, we have our products card, right? So I'm gonna just call it here right now, and let's say for the product should be item, and also we need to provide the custom style. And what if you don't provide the custom style? If save, as you can see, is scrambled because it's taking the parent 40 height, but it didn't take the parent. Like this parent is contain it's contain actually the 40 height width, but we're not passing that, so it's containing its own height, which is the 45. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna provide a custom style, and over the style should be, let's say, width. I'm gonna just provide the width as 100%. So it's gonna take the parent 100% width ratio, and now as you can see, all the good things is right here. Now we need to make one more parameter here. What is that? We can call, you can either, as you see the logic here, you can just make that, if we have that, we want that, otherwise we want something else. It's up to you, or also you can, this is the normal flavor which we'll have to do it, especially whenever we are working. But we can also do it at the top layer right here. What you can do, you can call it, if we have the favorite items dot length is equal to 0, means we doesn't have any favorite product, we can return a safe area view. We can just go with the, or you can just go with the, we can return a wrapper, as the wrapper gonna work perfectly. The home header, it will be coming all together, then it gonna be coming as an empty state. And on that empty state, we can just simply pass this the type, whatever the type we want. We want the type should be favorite, and the message should be you haven't added any favorites. Yes, action label browse products, and on action should be navigate to products. And to create the navigate to products should be const navigate to products. That would be a simple arrow function, or you can directly call the function here, which would be router.push, and that push going to happen for that, let's say okay, let's say / should be, I'm gonna try to define it to the shop right now. If we just make it like, if we just pass that, no, it should not be coming with a null condition, but we can pass like that. You see, that's like it. So this is a one condition, you can keep it, this up to you. But as you see, we are providing wrapper, we are providing home header, it's just getting extra layer. We only need this much layer, right? So we can just simply comment it through. If we don't want, then we can save. Now what we can do, as you see, the wrapper actually combining each and every segment, each and every fragment what we want. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna close the wrapper at the top layer. That's what we did before, and then we're gonna just return back at this layer. And then what I'm gonna do here, if is 0, then I'm gonna provide an empty layer here, okay? And everything whatever we are having in between, I want to select it, and then I'm gonna moving it within that braces. And after that, as it's just passing here, we're gonna pass that like this will be our a condition, and here the condition gonna end, and here I'm gonna provide the state. Okay, there is something maybe we are missing. Yes, I need to cut that, and I need to pass it here. I believe so, but is it so? Okay, I'm gonna go again. I think this copy pasting really taking a weird type of phenomena, so I'm gonna just create one more time. So this one, as you see, this should be cut together, and here I'm gonna just create an empty braces. Okay, now it's working perfectly. So this is the one condition. So I want to fill up with a null check, so I'm gonna go with that. And after this immediate one, so here it's gonna just close the condition. So that condition gonna stay to bring back our empty state property. So let's just go over here and pass it. So the data is right here. Now as you see, I'm gonna go receive the fabric. You see, now we can go and browse product. So in that way, we no need to work like separately to just fill up the condition like just coding the same thing several times. That's really not good. Try to do whatever the way you can write less code and less condition instead. And also this one is good to have at the top layer all the functions, because as it's a functional component, it will be a perfect way to, as you can combine everything as the root layer within your function layer, because this is the layer for our style data layer where you can keep, but all the function before return we can execute. So that would be a good way. So it, in that way, it will be coming in a more flexible position. Now let's go back to we can just add more, and you can see whenever you are gonna adding, you are right here. Now we need to go and bring back our cart section, so where you can just showcase all the cart products and all the details, because we're gonna have a lot of calculation. And from the cart itself, we need to make everything tip tight before going for creating our payment server. Now for the cart itself also, remember similar thing. I'm gonna just go grab our router, which gonna coming from our use router, and that need to be imported from Expo router. And by the way, you need to make sure you are exporting everything properly, otherwise you're gonna find some error which I'm not getting, then you'll get confused. Now also I need to grab all the variable, and that variable gonna coming from use cart store. So, and from there we're gonna having, I think, around three parameter we're gonna take. First is that items, then it gonna having that get total price, and after that it gonna having our clear cart. So this is the three functionality we're gonna use. And also we're gonna use our user, which need to be coming from use auth store. So there, because people can come in the cart, but you know they cannot access to go through the payment till they sign in. That's the condition we're gonna use. If you go in the profile, as you can see, we are having our like initialize, we already logged in, so that will be not a big deal. Now what we're gonna do also, we're gonna head back with creating a loading. So loading, set loading, because in a certain point we're gonna make that one as true. So right now it's gonna just leave it like false. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go and create a certain position. Let's go over here, and I think if I click cart, yeah, we are in the cart. So now we need to go and create some of the fundamental reasoning. As you see in the home header, we are mostly using the home header every time. You know, this is really annoying, because you see we are calling wrapper, then we are calling home header. This is not the good way which can really summarize and make it better, because as you see wrapper, if you just see wrapper has a safe area, has a portion which need to be coming in safe position. And also if we see in the home header, that's the same thing which it has, but we need to go and like stabilize. You see, whenever we are using in our fabrics, because we are using multiple times, this one already providing the guard for safe area, this one also providing. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna go juggling with that. I'm gonna create a simple component which gonna be our main layout.tsx rnfes, so you can replace that one whenever you feel better. So what I'm gonna do in that parameter, I'm gonna take everything, every children, so should be children, and the children should be, let's say children should be react note, not object note. So now we are passing the and I'm gonna go and empty braces, so it will not be make so many issues. And over here I'm gonna call my home header. After that I'm gonna having another view, and that view I'm gonna render everything as a children, so all the children gonna be encompasses here. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna also make a style which gonna name should be a container by which we can generate. So okay, it's my bad, should be container, and there we're gonna make it flex 1, so everything gonna be taking all the spaces, padding horizontal, which going to be just let passing is 20. And after that also we're gonna enclosing something, making a background color, and the color should be, we're gonna make that app colors dot background, not like that, background dot primary. So that would be our color combination. And over here we're gonna pass the style, should be styles dot, and here we're gonna pass our container. So now if we go in the cart, this entire view I'm gonna wrap with that our main layout, okay, then passing the children. And as you can see, in that way we are now happen to be in a fantastic position. There is no certain error, there is no like any comments to go with and far away. So we can, in that way, we're having our safe area view, we are having our rendering view. So you can just go and in your favorite you can replace the main layout just to see how that thing's done. Okay, so now good things good. So over here in that main layout, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pass a simple condition. If we are having our items, so items dot length, and that length is bigger than 0, means we are having items, then we're gonna go and reflect on that. And also if we're having a loading, then also we want to just showcase our loader. Did we create the loader? No. So I'm not gonna go with the loader right now because that's, we didn't have the loader yet. So I'm gonna just passing a view and then passing the text, and that will return that we are having our products. And after this one, and there you can just simply pass that the state which we create, means we are having no product. So here it's gonna just simply pass that empty state, and over this empty state we need to provide the type should be our cart. So now if we have the product, should be product, you see the product is right here. And also the empty state which will contain the message which will be, let's say, your card, I'm gonna make it capital, card is empty. And also I'm gonna make that action label which gonna be, let's say, start shopping. And over here, remember previously we passed that within a variable, but this one we will make it inline. So there is a lot of way you can make that. So router dot push, you can pass that one. It doesn't mean if I told just put it in root layer, you can make that in layer also. It's up to you. But whenever you are declaring a function, I always recommend you to do it in that layer. That's a very good way. That's the best way to go and make in very good fashion. Now over here, there will be some certain commission. Remember, whenever you're gonna click to handle place order, there would be a loading instances. So we need to create that, but we're gonna go on that. But first of all, I'm gonna show the product. Later on, we're gonna go on the loading instant. So right now, as you see, remember previously we provide the style. Okay, I'm gonna go grab this style first, which is not cool if you go without the styles. So I'm gonna just pass those, and of course I need to get back my friends app colors. And anything else? No. Okay, so the style should be, let's say, styles dot header. So that would be the header. Anything having in the header? Yeah, padding bottom and background color. This background color is not required anymore because remember we already provide the background color there. So by default it's gonna go and come. But anyway, I'm gonna keep it as, I think no need. Just no using for that. So now over here for the header, okay, we are having a padding bottom of 16, nothing else. And then on the text fly, we're gonna have, let's say, the text should be style and should be styles dot I think it should be the title, and you can create a global title. That would be a very good option to you. So every time you can just simply render your style, you can pass the props. And how you can do that, you see, it's very simple. You can just simply create a component called, let's say, title, or you can say, you can create it here, or you can just make that one as a text.tsx. So that will return the entire text property. It's a small text, okay, not the big one. So, or you can also naming like that. Let's say I'm gonna keep it big, small letter, just to show that custom text.tsx. So RAFCE. So that will be the custom text. So first one, I'm gonna provide the title. So should be title. Okay, they're gonna passing the title value. So you can now pass that. I'm gonna just right now put a simple combination here. I'm not gonna pass any style and others, but you can do it the way you feel it better. So children. The children should be react node, and over here okay, as you see, we are calling it div. It should not be div, so it should be a text, it to coming from native. And over in the text should be passing all the children. And remember, it's just creating that simple commotion because I create a functional component for the web. And we're gonna go in our title parameter here. I'm gonna copy this portion here, and over here I'm gonna make that const styles is equal to style sheet dot create. Now over here within the object, you can simply pass it. So now you are having your style, and for this text over here, put just style should be styles dot title. And you see, I'm not gonna export any default. So for here, I'm gonna okay, before is okay, I'm gonna make that at the bottom, exports. So there I will, like, you can now have your title, you can have your subtitle, you can have your normal text the way you feel it better. Now I will go over here, I'm gonna remove this style from here, no need. And also I'm gonna remove, okay, I'm gonna just cut that text because I need to write again. I'm gonna remove it. So now we're not having that. So right now okay, this should be within this parameter. Let's just grab the title, and over here I'm gonna passing it. You see, that's good. Now this is, there is one text for yourself. There you can pass the style. How you can pass that? Try it, and if you cannot do it, let me know in the comments. If you can, you're welcome. Not welcome, thank you for if you can do that. Okay, so right now as you see, we have our title, then we're gonna have another text. Remember, you can now create any subtext if you wanted to for there. So now over here, I'm gonna just create that items dot length, and then I'm gonna just pass that as items, should be items dot length. And also for the style should be styles dot item count. Remember the same parameter we are using. Okay, just making that normal. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, in this style which we pass that as header padding bottom, I think we also need to make that a padding top. I think at least 5. See, it's stuck together, which is not good. Okay, right now we are having, now we need to showcase our product. So after that I think the view property, again I'm gonna wrap it within an empty braces, because remember we're gonna do the same thing when, because the condition it's gonna render here. So should be flat list, and on the flat list I'm gonna provide the data should be our items, and also the key extractor I'm gonna provide as extractor of item, and below that should be item.product.id to substring, so that it will be fixable and it will not be there. And also for the render item, I'm gonna provide the render item on similar like that, it should be our item. And for the item itself, right now here we need to create a single component here, which will be, let's say, our, it should be card item.tsx rnfes. So here are the card item. So I'm gonna pass that card item here. Okay, so you can see all the card item is typically right here and it's rendering perfectly. And below that also we should be able to have one, let's say, container style, and that style going to passing that styles dots, and that should be a card items container. And if you just go over here, it's just making a padding top, padding bottom 6 by 16. You can also make that as a padding vertical 16, and that's the same thing is too. If you just reduce 10, you can see the same thing. Instead of defining twice, you can define a single time. That's how you can make these things work perfectly. So this is the one condition, but before I'm rendering special things which call the pricing table and others, I'm gonna go render the other details. Like before showing you the product, like card item, I'm gonna create another view and I'm gonna pass that one something called summary. So here the text, it should be, let's say, I'm gonna passing that a subtotal. Okay, so you can see if you save here, okay, we can't see subtotal text where it had gone. It should be somewhere. Okay, we're gonna just pass it that to find out. So put style, and should be styles dot should be summary container. And that summary container, why the summary container is not available, having a background color which is not required, padding vertical, border top weight of 1, and border color app colors gray. I don't know why it should coming here, but still we can't find it. Let's see, styles dot summary raw, still not there. Okay, I'm gonna go and try again to be reflect here. Okay, it's not there. Why? We are having our flat list, we are having our view. Why? Style should be styles dot summary level. Nope, it's not rendering right now. I want to see why those things is not working. Let's just put a text, hello, or you can just pass the title. Okay, it's my bad, should be similar on that. Okay, if I okay, so it's just not providing me the view console here, just to creating that game pattern. So I think I need to provide my item first, then I can go and render that one, because it will not leave the space for it. So what I'm gonna do for the flat list, I'm gonna work first on that. I'm gonna make that as a product, and the product, it should be the item. I'm gonna pass the entire item, and also for the quantity, I'm gonna passing that, let's say, item dot quantity. So that would be QUANTI, should be another T. So now I'm gonna passing the two separate value there, just to go and combine it all together. So first of all, I need to grab that. So interface should be, let's say, it should be cart item props, and in the props we're gonna have our product, and the product should be, let's say, that it will be a type of product. And after that, we're gonna also passing that quantity, and the quantity, it is just a number. So now over here we can directly passing that it should be a React, and it should be, let's say, it react.fc, the functional component. And over here we can just simply pass that cart pops, and now we can grab two value together. One is the product, another is the quantity value. So this is the two certain kind of things we can grab. Also you can pass the router if you want, but I'm gonna just create the router here, because it just we can easily get from there. So should be cons router, use router. Okay, this is the router parameter. Now also we need to having two certain of parameters that you can grab it in the parent, then can pass as a props, but I'm gonna just make that here right now. So should be use car store. And from there we're gonna having two props, which gonna be update quantity, and another it would be a remove item. So these two things, the two action can be passing together. And right now what I'm gonna do in that view, I'm gonna just grab the style just to make it nice and clean. So copy that and paste it here, and don't forget to bring your app colors directly. And now what we're gonna do here, after that instant of the view properties, we're going to have a touchable opacity here, opacity, and on that opacity we're gonna having our image from React Native. And as you can see, all the import is happen to be passing there. So again, make sure you are doing the good thing. And right now here I'm going to provide the source, and in the source the URI should be, let's say, it should be the product we are getting. So product dot image, that would be there. And also for the style should be, let's say, styles dot image. And also I'm going to make the resize mode as contain. Okay, by default is contain, but it's always better to pass that. So now what we need to do in the view, we need to provide a style. The view should be styles.container, and also for the touchable opacity should be styles.image container. So this is the two parameter need to have that. So now you can see you're having two certain kind of parameter, which is really making any good portion. So right now okay, I think that's null check not required here. So image container, first of all let's talk about the container which we are wrapping all together here at the top. So this one, okay, why we can see the product, I love to have a reload in case it's messing something, because you remember, especially for those kind of simulators, just giving a little bit of earthquake here. And you can see, okay, okay, I will go and try to check. Okay, this we can add a new item. So we'll go and click a new item, and let's see. Okay, I don't know why this image is not coming, but we'll bring it that, no worries, all are coming, so it should come. And for the container, we are making a flex direction raw, padding 16, background color is the app. So background color is here is mandatory, because you see there is okay, this one is not mandatory by default. It's gonna go just passing a margin border radius 8, margin bottom 12, shadow color which is just a black color, and then the offset we are providing width 0, height 1, shadow opacity you can toggle through, you can make that one the way you feel it better. I'm gonna just keep it like that to make it's a little bit tweak. Shadow radius you can make it in a good way, you can see the way it's providing. So right now it should, yeah, it's providing the shadow, but it's not providing the actual portion which is need to be providing my image, right? And also we are having that elevation 1, border width 1, and others. Image container taking width of 80, height 80, background colors is getting the secondary color, border radius 8, overflow hidden margin right 16, and images with 100, height 100 means capturing this width. So now if we just remove this one, is it getting? No. Oh, this is really annoying. My image should having that. If we remove the background color, no, we're not getting anything. Okay, anyway, we're gonna console log and then we're gonna see what is the major problem which you're having. Right now, after the touchable opacity, we're gonna having our view item, and over the view, we're gonna have another touchable opacity, and on that, we're gonna having a text. We're gonna passing that our product dot title. So okay, so there in we need to have the product title, and also for the style should be, let's say, styles dot details. No, it's not coming. I think something wrong. And also we can pass that style should be styles dot title. Anyway, let's go back here. So this is the product, right? And which is coming actually as an item, missing the following properties from the type product: ID, title, description. Okay, it's actually not grabbing the product. So let's just see what we are missing. Are we having the product which we are talking about? Yes, we are having the product. We have the product category electronics. Okay, product dot product. So that is the problem. So we are grabbing the product, but it's actually coming from item dot product dot product. So this is the problem. So this is the problem which we are just containing through. So if we go in our card, because if we just come over here, you see the product dot image. You see, we are having the image, so we are grabbing it, but we are not coming the actual key point. So what we can do, item dot product, that's it. We're having everything. So we're passing directly the item, which should not be, because our data ratio is different. So yeah, that was the problem. You see, the simple solution, but it's a bit of tricky. So now we can grab everything. We are having our image, we are having our other ratio, which is called the title and others. Now we know what's gonna happen. Okay, it's good to make mistake every time, because once you made a mistake, you know how to get rid of it. Otherwise it will just be do nothing to be in serious in life. So we are having details, which is flex 1, justify content space between. That's the portion. Apart from the image, it can capture all the property. Title, similar title. So now after that, so whenever we're gonna also place I'm gonna go and click a function called handle press. So const handle press. So that's the function which gonna be taking us to the single product page whenever we're gonna click on that, remember. So it's gonna happen. I'm gonna keep all the details here, but I don't want, because remember we're gonna have a lot of other functionality which it will be really cool. So push, and over in the push I love to use the backtick, which gonna be passing that it would be, let's say, product. So product force PRODUCT product / and then we're gonna use that one, let's say product.id. So now it gonna, every time we're gonna press that, so the on press value we can just capture this one. So should be okay, so every on press value we can just simply pass that. So on press, let's say just pass that handle press. Okay, so that's the same functionality. We can also passing that in our text, where we are having this value here. Now if we click, you can see we can go back there, and it will always Now here is the catch. Again, there is another task for you. Whenever we click, we want that to be back in the cart, okay, not in that over here. So try to do it. If you cannot, again, let me know in the comments. So you're gonna have two tasks pushing that renderer router here, bring it back to that page where it's coming from, and also one more is that to go the other one which I gave before. So now what we're gonna do here, as we are having those so there is a touchable opacity done, then we're gonna having another text, and the text gonna passing that, let's say it should be product dot price, and before the price I will make it as like that. We're gonna pass it dollar because I don't want to make it more complicated, which can be really not cool for all of you. And then here we're gonna also pass that it would be injecting on that product dot price into, we're gonna pass the quantity, what's the quantity value is there, then we're gonna make that one as, let's say I will gonna just wrap that both of that together, and then we're gonna make that one as dot to fixed, and it would be coming always, especially the two. So it depends how many products you're having, and you see that that's the one which I'm talking. You see that's a scroll bar is coming here. We don't want to show that, so I'm gonna make that show, I think, vertical indicator, which I'm gonna make it false, and as you see right now you will not be able to see. And also this one I'm gonna make that instead of padding vertical, it will not be good to go. So okay, I'm gonna keep it padding vertical because later on you're gonna having the summary view, so you're gonna see that time. Okay, and after that okay, so we can make now this one things better. After price, we're gonna render our quantity container, so it should be another view and over here. And by the way, for the style property here, we want to provide the style should be styles.price, and we're gonna highlight bit of price. So in the details property, having flex, and the title which you're providing, and the price also having the same title corporation, but you see we are providing the app colors primary 600. Now we're gonna make the quantity container by so far to make it look more nice and cleaner productive view. Now for that one, touchable opacity right here, then we're gonna having an undesign icon, and on that icon we want to provide the name for the icon should be providing the plus icon, and also we're gonna make the size I'm gonna provide a 16, and also the color should be, let's say it will be app colors dot text dot primary. So now you can see we have one actionable at properties, and after below that we're gonna having a text which gonna render that one the quantity of that particular product, which is 1. And below that I'm gonna just copy that same thing and paste it here again, and the name should be delete icon. Hit press, you see okay, not the delete, it's my mistake. So 1 would be plus, 1 would be minus, so that would be, let's say, minus, and that should be plus. So now you can see two things together. Now there I'm gonna provide a view here which should be, let's provide a style, and that would be styles dot quantity container. And right now this view just doing a simple thing, making you flex direction raw, align item center, just keep it like that, nice and clean. And after that, this particular two button, it's gonna take the similar of the class name. Okay, not like that, should be taking the similar of that style, which gonna be style, and that should be styles dot, and here it gonna be, let's say, quantity button. And right now you can see there is a button, is a design pattern right here which is making that width 28, height 28, border radius 4, background color which you're making that app colors background as a secondary color, and also the align item center, justify center. If you don't do that, your icons may not be in the middle, you see. So by keeping that, we are pushing everything to be in the center line. And also for the style, for the text over here should be style, and that one styles dot quantity, just to make the quantity looks bit up nice and clean. Font size 14, font weight 500, app color primary, and padding horizontal 12 to push through side by side. You see, if you just remove that, is mixing all together, and by doing that the button to be separated. And by the way, if the quantity increasing, that also be making it nice and clean. If we just make that, you see, okay, if we just make that one like some text, you see it's always taking the places because we're making a padding, not like a width and height. And after that touchable opacity, so this is the one segment here, we're gonna having another touchable opacity. So I'm gonna copy that, paste it here, which would be, let's say, delete, and then gonna having our delete portion. And for the delete one, we're gonna just pass that it should be style dot remove button. So that's the button condition, which gonna passing that side by side, which also having that margin left auto to keep all the side part to be the left side, and width 28, height 28, border radius 4, background color secondary, and keep it the middle, just item center, justify content center. And for the color property here, instead of the text primary, we're gonna provide the error property. So we're gonna have a little bit nicer color of the red. We know by clicking that, by pressing that, it gonna start deleting our item. Now over here we need to start building some of the functionality. So on press, we're gonna having that, let's say, handle decrease, and also whenever clicking on the press icon, you're gonna make that on press should be, let's say, it will be handle handle increase. So this is the two function which gonna handle all the tasks over there. So we're gonna just write that at the top. So it should be, let's say, const handle decrease. That would be a simple functionality, and also, let's say, handle increase. So these two function gonna pass the two variable. For the increase one, that's very simple. We just need to increase the quantity. So just passing that update quantity, and on that update quantity, gonna passing that product.id, remember, and also we want to make that a quantity plus 1. So we're gonna just add, we're gonna just add increasing quantity by clicking 1 you see, clicking, and also the price is just updating because it's multiply with the item. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, this doing good. So now we need to also create a decrease quantity, and to do that also we can do in a similar function that we can just make that, let's say, we can make update quantity, the similar function, and over here we're gonna pass that item dot not item, should be product.id, and then quantity minus minus, remember, not like that, minus minus. So it gonna be, or you can just simply -1. So it gonna just -1 or plus plus. You can even do, if you can just make that plus plus, and it gonna do the same thing, the one which you're referring. Plus plus means adding. Okay, see, it's adding. It's just taking a bit of time to add in the place, but I'm gonna just keep it like that one. I think that's sweet for me. This is getting more actionable easily. And you see in decreasing 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. So now the problem is once we decrease less than, it's getting, you see, it deleting, because if it's -1 it's gonna delete, but we don't know what's actually happening under the hood. So you need to create that scenario to let it work. You're gonna stop like whenever you're gonna increasing the item, or you can pass a message, remember what we did in our product cart. So we can use the same philosophy here. So we'll just grab our toast masses from there, and now over here we're gonna make it in a very good way. First of all, for increase the product, it should be like, it's simple. So over here we don't want to like just no need to provide that like text. You can provide the text if you want. I'm gonna just go with that, like provide increase successfully, or you can just pass that quantity increase successfully. You know, we can just pass a simple message to just to show, you see, quantity increase successfully. You can see that's just passing the variation, and the same thing is gonna happen once we are just decreasing successfully. You see, quantity should be decreased successfully. I think decrease or decrease, you can just pass the message the way you want. But here we're gonna make a simple condition, right? Because we are having a delete button, right? So we can just go and pass a condition here, which gonna say if the quantity is less than 1, then we're gonna just make that, let's say it should be that one. So -1, and else we can just simply remove the product, right? And also we can do like that would be by default it gonna say that. So let's say remove item, or you can just simply pass that if not this one. So we can just simply pass a message. Let's say it gonna be passing the same. It should be, let's say, alert quantity decrease, or you can pass the simple alert that you cannot decrease less than 1. Okay, that's just going for a message. Click. Okay. Okay, alert, what's to say, alert does not exist. Oh, okay, the type should not be there. Should be error, I believe so. We can pass that or not, because the type variation gonna come in a different way here. So if we just click that, okay, quantity decrease successfully, so 1 is there. If we click, you cannot decrease less than 1, but it's removing that. So yeah, we should not be amplifying that. Now if we add, we are adding quantity increase. If we delete and make it for the last one, you see it cannot decrease less than 1, so we're gonna delete here. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna create another function. It's a simple, you can do it here, but it's better whenever you're gonna having a delete button and to go on that. So on press, and that should be handle remove, and remove. I think that would be just a simple solution for it. And to amplify that, const handle remove, and over here we're gonna just simply pass that, and that should be, let's say, remove item, and over here we're gonna pass that, let's say, product dot id. That's it. And also for that one, we're gonna pass a message here which gonna say item removed successfully. And for this one, we can go actual gonna passing a message here. Okay, not here, but you see the product card, we can simply go and passing that message, which is really cool. So here I think so the last one is that one, and let's say product removed successfully. So double C E double S S U double C E double S. Okay, so here the product dot title has been removed from your cart. I know it's a bit of Quincy, but if you click here, you can have a very good men's t-shirt removed successfully. So we are having a total like parameter here. So also you can having to be a receipt card, entire card, which would be receipt. You can simply make the fun thing here, which can be done. We're gonna do it, of course. But now you know what's actually going to work and how we're gonna things can be done by itself. So let's go in our cart. So over here, as you see the shopping cart and others, we can now have a flexible position here. You see we make it a padding top and others. So what we can do, we can did we have a receipt card here? So if we make that use card store, use I think product store here. So over here we have not a product store, but I think should be the cart store. Yes. So do you have the remove parameter? Did a clear cart, we make that clear cart? Yeah, so we have the functionality, we can do it here. So after that, clear cart is already mentioned here, so means the functionality is right there. We need to pour in all together. And to make that clear cart, did we need to do it? I think I'm gonna love to have it like especially, yeah, we can make receipt card here. Remember the way we make it the favorite portion here. So that's the header view, the way we did it. So the similar fashion we can make it here, and that should be the receipt view here. So I'm gonna just copy that. So from there, I'm gonna go in my card, and after that card, this layer, I'm gonna paste that. And of course, I need to wrap everything like in a view. And over here, I'm gonna push that. So that will contain the touchable opacity. and that should be receipt card, RECT, or clear card, I think so. Clear card, yes. And the receipt text, which need to be imported from our style over here. So I'm gonna go and bring that receipt text style. So where are the style? Okay, that would be the receipt text. So I'm gonna just put it at the very last on that portion. Okay, so now you should be able to see the receipt fabric, but it's not look so good because, you know, remember what we did before here at the top. We're having a possibly a view called name the header view. So I'm gonna copy that portion. I'm gonna keep it after the header or top of the header, you know, that I'm gonna no need to have that primary. So I'm gonna go here, and that should be style, which gonna be styles dot header view. Okay, so now we're having a side-by-side portion, and padding bottom is, I think padding bottom not require. I'm gonna make that a padding top, which going to be, let's say, just keep it 10, or you can make it 5. That's up to you. If you click, you see all the things is removed, and it's coming like called a receipt fabric because it just coming for there. You can simply change the message. You can just make that clear card or receipt card. That's up to you. So I'm gonna just make the name as clear card. Okay, so now let's start shopping here. We can add more product just to make that things done all together. So 1 2 3 4. I'm gonna just go with the 4 products itself. I think that's cool. You can also bring one bunch of icon here by which we can navigate to the card. I keep some of the space for you so that you can have a very good understanding of how you can do it by so far. So I'm gonna keeping in that way. Also padding top, I'm gonna remove that because as for the padding top, we are keeping it here. Now what we need to do, we need to have our other portion by which we can render our details property. So the view details property gonna be there for the summary and others. Remember previously we started but we didn't finish it because we cannot see the value. So now again I think what's the problem here? We need to find a way of how and why we are not getting it. So let's just pass a view here. Oh yeah, so I need to pass a view. Is it so? Anyway, yeah, maybe because the view can render that one. So right now this is our this is the product which we are showcasing here. Okay, where is that? So this is the product view. This is the entirely having the product view, these two together. So now this is the summary container, and in the summary container we have a padding vertical of 20, border width is 1, border top color is F colors grade of 200, and summary row is making is flex direction row, space between, center, and margin bottom 8, and this the label which getting the secondary color. Now after that, after passing the label which is contained as a subtotal value, now we can mix together to provide our actual value. So what I'm gonna do below that, it should be another text which gonna be passing our actual value, which gonna be, let's say, subtotal. We need to capture the subtotal first, right? We need to render the subtotal property, and how we can do that. So this is our loading instances, and we're gonna make that as a shipping cost, and you can keep that in your env file, but right now I will go with very easy to that so that we can understand it what we are doing. Okay, so 5.99, that's the shipping cost which I'm raising that, and that comes subtotal. Subtotal, which is actually going to just running that function which is capturing our all the total price, right? The get subtotal is actually a function, right? If you just go back within our used car store, you can just see here the get subtotal, get total price, and on that price value here we are running a function, and we are by which it can just capturing all the item, all the property and the total value from there. Then it just adding, just multiplying with item dot price, and then is passing the total value. That's what it's actually doing here. Now it's also it's good to have to run that function interrootly. Remember what I told you. So now we're gonna have that our subtotal dot, we can just simply make that a 2 fixed value, and like that should be 2. So we are having our subtotal ready. And for the subtotal, I think it's not to be the subtotal. We're gonna go with the summary value, should be style, and that not to style, should be styles dot summary value. So that's the value, that's the item property, or that's the quantity layer which we gonna happen to have. So in the value we are providing that you can increase the value if you want, but like you can also make that font weight, you can go with like 800. That's up to you. You do it the way you make it preferable, but I'm gonna just keep it simple. Okay, I don't want to make it more fancy right now, so that you can easily understand and grab the features. After that, so this is the text layer which I'm doing. So after that view, we're gonna have another view which gonna be that should be capital letter. Okay, should be another view, and on that view should be the text which will be shipping, where we're gonna render the shipping cost. And remember, the same thing it gonna happen. So I'm gonna copy that row because the style going to be the same. As you see, you know, render the same thing. So in the summary row for the label, it should be, let's say, it gonna passing that shipping cost, and over here we're gonna just pass that, let's say it gonna go with that shipping cost value. That's it. So now we know 5.99 is our shipping cost value. So one more properties we're gonna render here, which going to provide us the total value. So we are summarizing how much the total input we are going to have it all together. So now also for that total value, we need to align our total value. Right now we doesn't have any total value. How we can align that? It's pretty simple. We are having basically two properties. So const total, we can just grab that, and here we can pass the subtotal, whatever the subtotal value we have. So means the subtotal, and then subtotal if it's bigger than 0, right? Then it gonna pass that shipping cost, otherwise it gonna have the 0. So this is up to you. Now you can decipher if like I want to add shipping cost after 100, you can go with that. If you don't want to add it, you can go with that. That's up to you. So that's the value. You can make it plus minus. So this condition, you can, instead of keeping there, you can keep it here. Okay, so if it's there, make it like that, otherwise make it 0. So if like if the so I will make a one portion down here. So now now this is a very good functional here. So now here we can, instead of running that, we can just pass the shipping cost. So you know, we don't need to render every time of changing the portion here. We can find a way how this is actually working. And also this entire positioning here, we're gonna just render if we have shipping cost, only then it gonna just coming here, otherwise it will not be there. Okay, so right now as you see, we are having an actual gross value. So instead of that subtotal, we're gonna have a total value here, which gonna be 195.94. So right now I'm gonna delete one property, which is more, and after delete you can see we have the total, we have the subtotal. What is that? Render within a text property. Somewhere we made a little bit of mistake, which is not good. I think we can let's say not equal to, okay, if there is a shipping cost, if the shipping cost is bigger than 0, I think that would be the good solution. Yeah, that was the problem. Now you see, so now we don't have, but if I increase is too much, you see, more than 1, you see, we are having the prices. So right now I'm gonna just keep it 50. That would be a good ratio here, otherwise it's making too much. So let's go to add some of the products, because we need to go and make it looks a little bit nice and clean. So for that, grab it. Okay, so right now we are having this portion. Okay, there is a little bit of fundamental problem which really causing issues. Okay, okay, I think we need to handle that together. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna try to fix it the way it will looks better. I'm gonna just reduce the product right now, just to make it feel in a very quick way. And then we're gonna have summary container. Is it because we can easily simply make it as an absolute value? I think that's the one. It can be make it better. So we are having header. So did we have, so let's put style, let's say, did we put that container here, container? No, we doesn't have to put any container here. So we can now summarize on that a particular instances. Let's say we can make that as a container, should be styles dot container. Okay, so now we are having that. So you see, so the value is just by passing here, so we don't want secondary, it should be just passing the value here. Okay, so also we gonna make that position should be as, let's say, relative. So now we know how we can easily capture the value here. So as you see, we have the summary container. So the summary container, we can just make that a position should be, let's say, as we can just simply pass that absolute. And as you can see, it's not there, so we can make that let's say bottom should be 20. You see, it just and the weight should be, because as we make the absolute, we need to provide the width and height. So I'm gonna make it a 100%. You see, so now it's just grabbing. So now we need to make simply how much the how much the property we want to provide. So now it's up to us. Okay, so so now we're gonna put it in actual figure, but not now. I'll do it. So first of all, as you're having that featureable data here, so now we're gonna have a simple button. So after that view, we're gonna have our own button here, which need to be imported from components button. And in the button, okay, it should be a same single closing button here. On that button, provide a title, should be mentioning that place order, so it will contain to place the order. And after that, it's gonna be taking the full weight, and also it gonna provide the style, and the style should be styles dot, let's say it would be checkout button. And after that, also for the disable, if there is no user, okay, if there is no user or if it's loading instance is running, it would be disable. So right now it's showing disable, but you see there is user, so we can just log out from there and we can find out the solution. So now we will just log out with admin, so get the other rate of, okay. Now if we logged in, we should be having our user. So you see, we're having the user. And also we need to make an on-press event here. So here it should be, let's say, handle place order. So that would be the function which will responsible to placing order in our database. So const handle place order, and that should be a asynchronous function, of course. For right now, I'm going to just keep it because we need to do a lot of work before handling that or before make it done. And also for this particular instances, we have a 5 state here. After that, we're gonna, if we doesn't have a user, then we want to pass a message. So it should be a view, and on that view should be having a text. Gonna just pass a message. Let's say please log in to make payment. So that's a simple message is gonna pass. I'm gonna keep it if we are having user, just to showcase that it can be done. So the view should be style, should be, let's say style should be styles dot alert view, not alert text, alert view. And after that, the text should be style, let's say styles dot alert text. So this would be kind of red text. And after that text, it's gonna be having a link. On the link, it's gonna pass that login. And for that one, put an href. We're gonna be passing that, let's say /login, tabs login. So that's where it's gonna pass that. And instead of passing that value directly here, we can simply pass a text, then passing the value, so that we can just provide a style, and the should be styles dot should be login text. You see, so that's what, if you click, it will take you login. But right now we are having already our cart, our user, so it will not show. That's what it's gonna do. And for the alert view is having the flex direction row, item center, justify content center. Alert text is having just an error color, and margin right tree putting the gap, and the login text having the other simultaneous item which is required. Right now, as you see, we are having our functionality. So we're gonna just pass that if it doesn't have the user, only then. So right now it doesn't have that. So this is the view here which we are summarizing for our summary container. So I'm having a simple combination here, because that should not be having to be happen to be a problem, because right now you see that's the value is capturing, but this is not coming immediate after. So I want to have that. So this is our like for especially for our value here. So we need to make it think how it can work. And I think we can easily grab that. I think no need to make that remove. I will make it position relative, but I'm not gonna. Yeah, now you can see if we go in shop cart and if we add some more items just to check if it's working, fine. If it's not working, also fine. So we know what we can do. Okay, yeah. So this is absolutely freaking us out. Why, I don't know. So this value should not underline on that issue. So this is actually not gonna having that property issue anymore, because this just passing that. Yeah, that's just passing. Yeah, okay, right now it's looking fine. Okay, yeah, if we do that, yeah, that should work previously. That's what I was talking about. It should work. Okay, for the summary container. So now if we go here in our summary container, we should be having that. Okay, so yeah, that should not be. So I think, yeah, anyway, okay, I just deduct. So you just check your device, and I think to make that one better, you can just make the simple combination here. So margin bottom is 8. Okay, this one, if we just go, this is really annoying a bit, because as for it, okay, now it's working. Yeah, that's working, but we just need to shuffling our button and other properties. Yeah, I think that's working now. So we have the summary button. So summary container, which providing that one. Okay, so summary row having that. Okay, so value is kind of cool, but we just need to passing the button here. So if we just go here, margin bottom, margin top, let's say top, we're gonna pass the 20, and let's say 50. Okay, yeah, it's catching, it's getting the 50 value. See, yeah, this margin bottom is working. So I think if we go with that, on a margin top was working. So if we go in margin bottom 30, yeah, it's pushing. Okay, so I will go with let's say 60, and I'll go with 80. Yeah, I think a 70 would be in good position. Yes, so now, okay, now we are having all the variation. Okay, that's perfect. So now once we click in place order, we want to run some of the functionality by which it can really capture the heat. Now, to do with the place order positioning, there will be a lot of calculation, lot of demeanor by which we can really go and write our all the structure, all the data layer. But now what are you gonna do to just to go and create the segment, because we need to also have some of the property here by which we can render all the follow-up link. For right now, we should be having also providing one checkout route, like checkout page here. So as you see, after that, the checkout page gonna render right here. So we need to go and create a lot of other combination by which we can really initiate our payment and for other scenario. So now we're going to create our backend structure, because that will be responsible to create our like possibly building our checkout formation and others. So now to do that, I'm going to go in our over here structure right here in the server. I'm going to go. So let's just get our command line. Okay, where we are still having that. So cart, I think in the cart item, maybe I need to stop that. Otherwise it's going to render always. Okay, over here need to remove that product. Okay, done. So right now I'm gonna take another terminal which will be taking another command line, and I'm gonna put ls. Let's go cd into server, and here I'm gonna put that npm init to create our server specification. The package name would be server. Okay, I'm gonna go again with the backtick because I'm gonna close my command line here. I think it will be okay. Yeah, it will be no problem if I go npm init, because its name is server. Okay, version, description, normal, entry point indexed. Okay, click and done. So now it's just creating. If you just close the client app, if I close all together in the server, we only having a package.json, nothing else. So now we need to go some of the certain kind of things which will help us to build our structure all together. And first of all, let's just open the Chrome browser here. I'm going to open the npm, so where we can find all of the libraries here. And from the npm, the first thing first, we need to go having a certain kind of packages, and there the packages, you can put the name here. As you see, it can be happen to be the course to get the course, it can be happen the .env to render our env, it can be happen to our express to bring our express functionality, it also gonna be our nodemon. So you can search all the function, and the last one, it can be our stripe. So this up to you, you can search all of those things. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just make all together npm I should be course, and then I'm gonna bring that .env, bring that our express, and bring that our nodemon, and bring that our stripe. Hit enter. So what it gonna do, it gonna just like install all the dependency in my parameter, and here we're gonna pass how we can render and how we can initiate things by so far. And where is installing, remember, we need to have a file, like a base file where it can run, and that should be index.js file, not ts but js. If we make that log, just put a console log and then hello from server, and hit save server, and hit save. And here, if as you see, we doesn't have any start, so we need to also bring one start comp library. So should be start node index.js. So it's gonna run our node file. So npm start, and here you can see it's running hello from server. Now instead of node, if I put nodemon and running the same command, and now you can see server, it will not stop, it's gonna continuously running on that. So that's the same, that's the beautiful thing on that. If we just change anything, you can see it's always running, but without the nodemon, it will not run that way. So now we need to go specialize our index property so that we can make it looks more nicer, cleaner and better. And first of all, you see in the server, we should be having one .env file. This file is gonna contain a certain kind of files parameter, and first thing first, it's gonna have a port, oops, it should be port, and then it's gonna having also, let's say it will be stripe, and it should be underscore, or you can just simply pass that, should be having that stripe secret key. And after that also, it gonna having the origin, like from where we gonna run our function and others. So this is the one which it can pass that. Now origin is not required right now, I'm gonna keep it empty. For port, I'm gonna just pass that localhost 8000, because we're gonna run on that. Now first of all, to create our routing setup, because in Vite we're using that React router, in Next.js it's coming by default, but you know, for our API configuration, whenever you're going to create a router, especially like a page, like the way the page is built, so in router you need to use express library to create and generate our library. Now these kind of things, as you see, that's the server. It's gonna be a very light server, because you're gonna handle the payment authentication, you're gonna handle some of the few method, because we are handling our Supabase server in our front end by default, but you can also happen to pass all the requests directly dispatching right here. It's up to you how you want it to configure. First of all, I'm gonna import express from, let's say it gonna coming from express, and now this kind of import, if you do it in our normal one, as you see, it's a common JS, so type is common JS, but we cannot use the type common JS, we need to use the type of module, otherwise there it will be error whenever you're gonna running from the console. So now also we will import that our .env, so should be, let's say .env /config, and after that we're gonna also import course, so import course from, let's say it gonna be from course, otherwise in the browser compatibility you cannot go and pass that. So now we're gonna make that const app is equal to, let's say express, because we're gonna use the express to use our application layer, and const port is gonna be defined, let's say process.env. if it's there, if process.env port is there, okay. Otherwise, let's say it's gonna run by default. Now you can also configure the way you want. And app.use, we love to use the CORS policy, so the back browser compatibility it will be there. And app.use, we also gonna use that express.json, so you can send the JSON file directly on that. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna make that apps.listen, and over in the listen we're gonna just pass the port here, and on the port method we can just make a simple arrow function which is going to pass a message, let's say console.log, and that log gonna provide that I'm gonna go within a backtick property that our server is running on port. And now you can find the port here, so now you know where it's running by default. So you see the server is running port 8000. If we go here in localhost 8000, let's see what's the things it can be render right here. You see cannot get, means no home router is defined. So we'll create a basic route which can be combined as a home route. So we'll go over here, and over here we can use app.get, or you can use also app.use if you are using router fundamental. So now over here you're gonna simply pass that. So this will be home route. Okay, so one it should be within a function parameter, so similarly like that. So now over here we're gonna take two variable here. One will be rec, another it will be response. So now let's say for this one we just might have passing a simple solution here. Let's say rest.send, and over here we're gonna just simply pass the message you okay, let's say you might not be in the right place, because we don't want anybody to check our server, right? Enter, you see. So now it's just there. So now we can create a router segment by which we can just go and grab the property by which it can especially provide a router setup. So what we gonna do here, after that server you're gonna create a new folder which going to be, let's say we will just pass that whatever the routes we are going to keep it within our application. I'm gonna just create a simple checkout route. Okay, so this will be a checkout route by which we can pass the mass responses here. So let's say import, we will use the router from here, so router from express, and over here we're gonna just make that const router is equal to, should be just grabbing our router variable here. So now we can use the router. So I will just make a router.get method right here, okay, just to showcase to you that it's working or not. So the router, it should be checkout, and remember the same way we did, it will be an asynchronous method. First rec, okay, it should be coming a rec, and also gonna be taking a response here. Let's say rest.get should be, let's say rest.get checkout route is working. Now from here we need to make that we need to export router. Okay, so whatever the router need to make is export default as router, so we can now especially inject the router within our index parameter. So similarly we can get that app.use. Remember now we are not using that get method, we are / and now we can pass that checkout, and that checkout it can be passing that import checkout from, and here it can be passing that route.checkout, and don't forget to put that JS, otherwise it will start giving you error. So now over here if we make that checkout, it enter, so we should be able to come back within our checkout route. So checkout like that. If you can see it here is fine because we are using that. You can just simply hit that request for using that what do you call that, for the postman, it will work. So over here instead of get, I'm gonna go and write a post method which can really go and make that post. So you see cannot get. So now here we're gonna start building our post method, and of course I forget to place that. So now we're gonna building our checkout route where we need to also especially set up our Stripe payment authentication setup. So first we'll create our Stripe application, only then we're gonna go and proceed to start building our checkout system.